Hello friends, and welcome into Week's 1 AP Top 25 poll. I am your host, Tom Downey. We got the brand new AP poll here for you. We're going to break it down, starting, of course, with number 1, where there is no change. The Clemson Tigers, once again, remain at the very top of the college football world. Number 2, also expected here, that is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Number 3, after Alabama, it's the Georgia Bulldogs. This should not be a surprise, folks, here, but the changes have not really occurred here. Number 4, the Oklahoma Sooners. They stay at that 4 spot. And also staying at number 5, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Moving on now out of the top 5, the LSU Tigers. They are number 6. And the Michigan Wolverines stay at number 7. Now we've got our very first change here. We'll get to number 8 in just a second overall here. LSU 6, Michigan is number 7. The top 7 here overall, folks, did not change this week. The top 7 did not change at all. LSU remains 6, Michigan remains number 7, Clemson is number 1, Alabama is number 2, Georgia is number 3, Oklahoma is number 4, and then Notre Dame, they check in here at number 8. They move up from the number 9 overall spot. Number 9, they were number 10 last week. It is the Texas Longhorns preparing for a great top 10 matchup against LSU. And then one of the bigger jumps, in fact, I think it is actually the biggest jump this week, the Auburn Tigers. They rise up from number 16. They are now number 10 overall in the AP Top 25 poll here. So let's move on to number 20, wow, jumping way ahead there. Number 11 on this list, my bad, folks. That is the Florida Gators. They slide down 3 spots after a win that was pretty ugly against Miami. Number 12, the Texas A&M Aggies. They stand pat there. Number 13, the Utah Utes. They jump up 1 spot. Then the Washington Huskies slide from 13 to 14. I'll be honest, I don't know why. Number 15, the Penn State Nittany Lions, no change there. Moving on to number 16, they slide a little bit, the Oregon Ducks, after a loss to a now top 10 team in the Auburn Tigers. The Wisconsin Badgers go from 19 to 17. UCF drops a spot from 17 down to 18. The weird 1-spot changes are kind of confusing to me, quite frankly. Michigan State, they go from 18 to 19. We'll continue with our theme of Big Ten programs here in this range. Iowa, they stand pat at number 20. Number 21, the Syracuse Orange. That's 1 spot higher than what they were last week. Number 22, the Washington State Cougars, also 1 spot higher. Then number 23, the Stanford Cardinal. They are next up here. Number 24, the only top 25 change. The Boise State Broncos. They were unranked last week after that thrilling comeback against FSU. Now they're ranked. And finally, number 25, the Nebraska Cornhuskers didn't look that great, but they just barely remain ahead of Iowa State, which I think actually, if my numbers are correct here, we actually have a technical tie for number 25. Nebraska and Iowa State both have 86 points in the AP poll. So it's not the top 25 this week, folks. It's the top 26. Others receiving votes here. Virginia, they've got 73, not that far behind. TCU, Mississippi State, the Cincinnati Bearcats after they beat UCLA. Army's got 31. I don't know what 10 pollsters are voting for Miami, but they've got votes. Oklahoma State, they've got 8. Memphis, they've got 6. And the Arizona State Sun Devils, they have 4. That is the same number, by the way, as App State. Minnesota, they've got 2 votes. USC has a vote. Boston College has a vote. And finally, North Carolina also has a vote. So that is your AP Top 25, along with all the teams that received votes this week in the college football voting polls. All right, guys, now I will make this the pinned comment on the YouTube post. What was your biggest surprise of Week 1 in the college football season? Let me know in the comment section what, not necessarily the voting, but what game surprised you the most. For me, and we'll talk more about this later, Tennessee. How are you going to lose to Georgia Southern? That doesn't make any sense, or that doesn't make any sense to me at all there if you're Tennessee. Georgia State, sorry, not Georgia Southern, Georgia State, my bad. Either way, it's bad. Either of those teams losing is bad. That's not a great look there for Tennessee. All right, guys, if you missed it earlier, here is the AP Top 25 poll. No changes inside the top 5. Clemson, Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. No changes there in the top 5 or the top 7. LSU and Michigan, they stand pat at 6 and 7. Notre Dame, they slide up. They are now the number 8 team. Texas is now number 9, and Auburn is now number 10. Now, outside the top 10 here, let's move to teams 11 and 12. Before we get that, though, my question for you. Who is the most overrated team in the top 10? Which team is it? I would assume no one out there is going to throw out some of the big names like Clemson and Alabama and Georgia and Oklahoma and Ohio State. Maybe it's Notre Dame. I'll be quite honest. I don't think they look very good. I was surprised how close of a game they had against a pretty bad Louisville team. I would have said Florida, but they are no longer in the top 10, so they do not count. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. At number 11 now, the Florida Gators. Texas A&M, they stand pat at number 12, but they got a chance to really rise up this week as they go on the road to face Clemson. This is one of the must-watch games this week in college football. Now, Clemson is the heavy favorite, 17.5 points at home, and I'll make note, they beat Georgia Tech 52-14. A&M beat up on Texas State, but Clemson, I think for good reason, is the favorite this week in college football against Texas A&M. But who do you guys have? Let me know. Give me a C for Clemson in the comments or a T for Texas A&M. I am going to go with Clemson here. I know it's not the upset pick, but outside of the one Aggie who I think guaranteed a win over Clemson, I'm not going to buy that one all that much there. Give me the Tigers at home in week 2. All right, the rest of this 15 through 11 range, we mentioned Florida and A&M. Utah's at 13. Washington is at number 14. 15 is Penn State. So a little flip there of Utah and Washington, which okay, weird, but okay. Now, out of the top 15, Oregon is 16, Wisconsin is 17, UCF is 18, Michigan State 19, Iowa is 20. Those last 4 teams there, they all won. Oregon, though, of course, in thrilling fashion, by the way, lost against Auburn. Number 21, the Syracuse Orange. Washington State is number 22. Stanford's number 23. Welcome back in the top 25, Boise State. We missed you last week. And Nebraska is now number 25. Quite simply, they did not look like they were back against South Alabama. They were 24th in last week's poll. They slide down one spot. A 35-21 win against South Alabama that they looked, is sloppy the right word? Unprepared? I don't know what the proper term is, but not good is the main summation there. They now get Colorado, who a new regime, but they did beat Colorado State 52-31. That's why the over-under 63 points. Nebraska is the favorite here, but they are on the road. This could be a major upset alert this week for the Huskers. Now, when you're watching college football this week, be it on any of the major channels, you get tired of the commercials, right? Oh, we have a solution for you. Go download the MyTV Choice app. It's available at chatsports.com/MyTV. And instead of boring commercials that you don't care about, why don't you get some videos and news from us here at Chat Sports? Yeah, no more commercials. Instead, updates from around the sporting world from us here at Chat Sports. And oh, by the way, it'll get you back to the game before the game starts. So chatsports.com/MyTV. Go download the MyTV Choice app today. One more time now through the AP Top 25 poll. Again, there are no changes in the top 5, and I wouldn't anticipate there being any. And so there's a crazy upset, right? Clemson, Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. Those are locked as your top 5. There will be changes, though. I can guarantee it in the top 10 next week. That's because number 6 LSU and number 9 Texas play each other. There are no more ties in college football, because thank goodness. So somebody's got to lose in what is the premier game to watch this week out in Austin. Texas, by the way, is a 6-point underdog. There is one rule to always follow when it comes to Tom Herman. If he is the underdog, you bet on Texas. Herman, against the spread, has a pretty ridiculous track record of success. Bet on Texas to at least cover this week. A nearly touchdown underdog at home against LSU. Yeah. Let me know who you guys got. Type 1 for Texas, 2 for LSU. I already put my money down on Texas. Herman as the underdog, it works out great. Now, there's always that one game a year, Maryland, where Texas loses a game they should not lose. But as the underdog, Tom Herman has a fantastic track record of getting his players to play up to competition level. I think you see it again this week against LSU. All right, outside the top 10 here, Florida, A&M, Utah, Washington, and Penn State. I am, frankly, a little confused as to why Utah and Washington would flip, but whatever. It's 13-14. What's really the difference there in the end? Speaking of Pac-12 programs, Oregon slides down to 16 after that heartbreaking loss against Auburn, the game that the Ducks should have won. There's really no way around that for me. Wisconsin, they're 17. UCF is 18. Michigan State is number 19. Iowa, they check in here at number 20. Now, you see the top 25 so far. So let me know in the comments section, who is the most underrated team in the top 25? And if you want to get aggressive and even throw out a team not in the top 25, you can go ahead and go for it. If we're doing that, the correct answer is Virginia. But in terms of underrated teams in the top 25, for me at least, it's actually the team at number 21. That's Syracuse. They won 10 games last year. I know they are not the name brand of a UCF, even a UCF because the UCF is different now, or a Wisconsin or a Penn State. I think they're a pretty good football program. It's a little bit surprising to me that they're only number 21. And then to round out the top 25 here, folks, Washington State, Stanford, Boise State, and finally, Nebraska.